Greetings, my friends, and welcome back to my garden. Today I'm in the oldest botanical garden in England. It's in Oxford, in Oxfordshire. It was developed in the early 1600s. They're now celebrating their 400-year anniversary. There's a walled garden within these grounds of 130 acres. There's over 5,000 species of medicinal plants, which is how this garden got started in the first place. The oldest medicinal plant garden is in Padua, Italy. It's about 100 years older than this garden. It's what's called a physique or physic garden. There's some plants here that aren't in any other part of the world. They're only common to this garden. So this area you see here is all full of medicinal plants. It's divided into sections called parterres. And then along the walled part of the garden, it's lined with other plants. The gardens border the Cherwell River. This is one of the greenhouses that houses plants that changed the world, like sugarcane and rice, pineapples. You know, in order to bring the seeds such long distances, they developed special carriers and special portable greenhouses. Coca plant. Tobacco. Boy, that sure changed the world. This greenhouse hosts the Cacti Collection. There's one here called Queen of the Night. And why is she called that? Because these flowers only open at night for one day only. Hence, she's the queen. I'm on my way to the rainforest greenhouse, and what do I see here? But orchids in bloom. Wow, wow, wow. They are gorgeous, aren't they? There's another one over here, but it's not blooming. Looks like a coconut orchid, but I can't really tell because it's not blooming right now. Look at this Jack in the Pulpit. Oh, another orchid. bromeliads. Lovely water lilies. Here we have several forms of papyrus. These stalks are over 6 feet tall. Another variety of papyrus. Oh, I'm spotting this orchid in the corner. This is a Melatonia. It's not one I can grow in Florida because it's a little too warm for it there. It's doing very well here. Oh, there's surprises around every corner. Caladium leaves. Now, if you were a rat or a little shrew or even an insect and you wanted to just catch a place to be at night, don't go in one of these because it'll just swallow you up. You would be its food. These are pitcher plants. And look at them hanging in here. Oh, I can't tell you how hot and humid it is in this greenhouse. It's hot and humid in this greenhouse. I'm getting out. Are you hungry? Well, if so, there's potatoes growing here. Yeah, right down here are varieties of potatoes. And some herbs like this big bush right there, which is all rosemary. Behind it are chives. The nice thing about an English flower garden is that when one plant dies, they just plant something else there. And it kind of looks all helter-skelter, but that's also what makes it very beautiful. Wow. This is dill. Those are some big dill plants. Dill's easy to grow in Florida. These seed heads, just the seeds dry and they fall to the ground and new plants develop. It's not only a lovely fern, but when you cut it and bring it in the house, it also has a wonderful aroma. Not to mention that you can use it to cook with. This is a section of allium plants. You've got leeks, garlic, onions. Did you know that the people who built the pyramids lived on garlic and onions? Or so they say. Did you ever see an artichoke going into flower? It's the most beautiful shade of blue. I just love it. These are some really big heads. And the stalks are a good, well, One of them's taller than I am, so it must be about 6 feet tall. I've seen fields of commercially grown artichokes, and it looks like they're only about 3 feet tall. But here we have a very unusual plant with very tall stalks. Do I need to tell you that the bees are going crazy right now? All these blooms at their disposal. Agapanthus, sedum, narcissus, probably pronounced.
One whistly one.
Hollyhocks, sunflowers. If you had a garden like this, you would never need to plant grass. Here's a section of fruit trees. You know, on the English estates, the garden designers planted fruit trees in a semicircular fashion so that each tree had its own exposure to the sun. And at any time during the season, at least one of the trees was bearing ripe fruit. Clever. Some English gardens are laid out so that looking at the plan of the garden, it appears to be a geometrical design. It could be checkerboard, it could be diamond patterns, but what's common to many of them is that they have these paths intersecting, these main paths that are axes. And along these paths are where the sight lines are. So as I'm standing here, you can see the sculpture of the urn. Beyond it is the opening to the wall, and beyond that is a cathedral. So it has beautiful sight lines. And on an estate, in the background, you would see the home itself, the manor house. Now, what would a garden be without a rock garden? A lot of these plants come from the Mediterranean area. And this rock garden has as its central focal point this beautiful lily pond that even Monet could be envious of. This woodland area is a little shadier, even has some ferns in it. I love the mulched walkway. Look at the border, how it's made with tree branches. It's so organic, love it. Here's a main access. There's a fountain in the center. The walkway is flanked by 2 topiary trees, which are kind of unusual for English gardens. That's more of an Italian style, but they do look beautiful. Look at all those seeds. Should I take some of those? Will I get them through customs? Ooh, I don't think so. I better leave them right here. Thank you, friends, for stopping by. I hope you have a lovely day, a lovely evening, and we'll see each other soon. Ciao for now.